There exists a profound mystery in the way abundance flows through human experience. Those who chase money with desperate intensity often find themselves trapped in cycles of wanting, while those who understand money's deeper nature discover that prosperity seeks them out, like water finding its natural course. This paradox reveals something fundamental about the universe itself, that the very act of grasping creates the experience of lack, while the state of allowing opens doorways to infinite possibility. Consider for a moment the river that flows effortlessly toward the ocean. It does not strain against the rocks or fight the current. Instead, it moves with such natural grace that it carves canyons and nourishes entire ecosystems along its path. The river knows something we have forgotten. Resistance creates turbulence, while alignment creates power. When you chase money, you become like someone trying to catch their own shadow. The faster you run, the more elusive it becomes. But when you align with the fundamental principles that govern all exchange in the universe, abundance becomes as natural as breathing. Take 3 conscious breaths now, allowing each exhale to release any tension you may be holding around financial security. Feel your body soften with each breath, creating space for new understanding to emerge. Notice how even this simple act of conscious breathing begins to shift something within you, perhaps a subtle relaxation in your chest, or a gentling of the thoughts that normally race through your mind when you consider your financial situation. The ancient wisdom traditions understood what modern quantum physics is now confirming. Everything in the universe is energy in constant motion, and money is simply one form that energy takes as it flows through human consciousness. When you truly grasp this principle, you begin to see that pursuing money is like trying to catch a wave. You cannot possess it, but you can learn to ride it with grace and skill. In the quantum field that underlies all manifest reality, energy exists in its pure, unformed state, infinite potential waiting to be expressed. Money emerges from this field not through force or manipulation, but through the natural organizing power of conscious intention aligned with universal principles. This is why some individuals seem to attract abundance effortlessly, while others struggle despite tremendous effort. The difference lies not in their actions alone, but in their fundamental relationship to the energy of exchange itself. The first law of thermodynamics tells us that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed from one state to another. This scientific principle holds a key to understanding abundance that most people overlook entirely. Money, like all forms of energy, is neither good nor bad. It simply is. It flows where it is welcomed, where it can fulfill its purpose of facilitating exchange and growth. When you begin to perceive money as crystallized consciousness rather than a scarce resource to be hoarded, everything changes. Consciousness is the fundamental substance of the universe, the aware presence that gives rise to all experience. This shift is not just emotional, it's physiological, changing your brain chemistry and nervous system function in ways that enhance your creativity, intuition, and capacity to recognize opportunities. As you cultivate this practice of appreciation, you begin to notice abundance everywhere, in the diversity of leaves on a single tree, in the complexity of the ecosystem that supports a single flower, in the magnificent intelligence that orchestrates the movement of countless stars and planets. This recognition of universal abundance begins to inform your experience of personal abundance. You start to see that scarcity is not a fundamental reality, but a limited perspective, a failure to perceive the infinite creativity and generosity that characterizes existence itself. The most profound shift occurs when you move from seeking abundance to living from abundance. This transition marks the difference between scarcity consciousness and prosperity consciousness, between operating from emptiness and operating from fullness. When you live from abundance, you become a source rather than a seeker, a fountain rather than a drain, a generator of value rather than a consumer of resources. This state of overflow naturally attracts abundance because it represents the very essence of what abundance is, not accumulation but circulation, not hoarding but sharing, not grasping but giving. When you operate from overflow, people are drawn to you because you radiate the very qualities they are seeking. You become magnetic, not because you need something from others, but because you have something valuable to offer. Living from overflow requires a fundamental shift in identity. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who lacks money, you begin to recognize yourself as consciousness itself, the unlimited creative potential from which all abundance springs. This is not a mental concept, but a lived derealization that emerges through practice, patience, and direct experience. The transition begins with recognizing the abundance you already generate and share. Every kind word you speak, every moment of compassion you offer, every solution you provide to someone's problem, these are expressions of abundance flowing through you. Money is simply one form this abundance takes, but it is by no means the only form or even the most important form. When you truly understand this, you begin to see opportunities to create value everywhere. Instead of asking, "How can I make money?" you begin to ask, "How can I serve? How can I contribute? How can I use my unique gifts to make life better for others?" This shift in questioning naturally leads to authentic abundance because value creation is the foundation of all sustainable prosperity. Rest for a moment in the recognition that you are already complete, already whole, already connected to an infinite source of creative potential. This completeness is not something you need to achieve. It is what you are beneath all the stories of limitation and lack. From this place of recognized wholeness, all action becomes service, all work becomes play, all exchange becomes celebration. As you embody this understanding more fully, you begin to attract people and opportunities that resonate with your energy of abundance. Business partnerships form naturally because others can sense your genuine desire to create mutual benefit. Customers are drawn to you because they feel the authenticity of your service. Investors are interested because they recognize your capacity to generate value rather than simply consume resources. The key is that this transformation must be genuine. You cannot fake the energy of abundance or manufacture the feeling of overflow. It must arise naturally from a sincere recognition of your true nature and your genuine desire to contribute to the well-being of others. This authenticity is what makes you truly magnetic and what sustains abundance over time. Practice offering something of value every day, whether it's your attention, your skills, your knowledge, or simply your presence. Notice how this practice of giving begins to shift your relationship with receiving. When you operate from genuine service, receiving becomes natural and effortless because you are participating in the fundamental principle of circulation that governs all abundance. Every financial transaction becomes an opportunity for conscious connection when you recognize money as a form of energy exchange rather than mere commodity acquisition. In this understanding, paying your bills becomes a practice of gratitude for services received. Earning money becomes a celebration of value created and shared. Investing becomes an act of faith in the creative potential of consciousness to manifest beneficial outcomes for all involved. This transformation of perspective elevates every financial interaction from a mechanical transaction to a sacred exchange. When you pay for your morning coffee, you're not just purchasing a beverage, you're participating in a vast network of exchange. You mine creativity and cooperation that brought those coffee beans from a farm thousands of miles away to your local cafe. You're supporting the farmer who grew the beans, the workers who transported them, the roaster who prepared them, and the barista who serves them to you with care. When you approach financial exchange with this level of awareness and appreciation, something magical happens. The exchange becomes infused with consciousness, with intention, with love. Both parties feel enriched by the interaction, not just financially, but energetically and spiritually. This is what transforms money from a source of anxiety and competition into a medium of connection and mutual support. Begin to bring this quality of presence to your financial interactions. When you hand money to a cashier, make eye contact and offer a genuine smile. When you receive payment for your services, feel gratitude not just for the money, but for the opportunity to contribute value to someone's life. When you invest money, do so with the intention that it serve the highest good of all involved, including yourself. This practice gradually dissolves the artificial separation between spiritual life and financial life, between material prosperity and conscious living. You begin to see that abundance is not something separate from spiritual growth. It is spiritual growth made manifest in the realm of form. Every financial decision becomes an opportunity to practice love, wisdom, compassion, and integrity. As you embody this integration more fully, your entire relationship with money transforms from unconscious reaction to conscious response. You no longer operate from fear-based patterns inherited from family or culture, but from your own direct understanding of how consciousness creates reality. You make financial decisions not from desperation or greed, but from wisdom and genuine care for your own well-being and the well-being of others. Notice how different this feels from the conventional approach to money that most people have learned. Instead of viewing financial transactions as win-lose scenarios where someone must sacrifice for another to gain, you begin to see them as opportunities for mutual benefit and shared abundance. Instead of approaching money with tension and anxiety, you approach it with curiosity and appreciation. This shift in consciousness naturally attracts people and opportunities that resonate with this higher frequency. You find yourself connecting with others who also view money as a tool for conscious living rather than an end in itself. Business relationships become friendships, financial partnerships become spiritual collaborations, and economic exchange becomes a form of prayer in action. The ultimate realization is that you are not separate from the abundance you seek. You are the consciousness from which all abundance arises, the awareness in which all prosperity appears, the source from which all value flows. Money, like everything else in your experience, is simply consciousness taking on a particular form for a particular purpose. When you fully embody this understanding, the desperate search for abundance ends. Not because you've acquired enough money, but because you've recognized that you are the very source from which all abundance springs. You discover that what you were truly seeking was never money itself, but the peace, freedom, and joy that you believed money would provide. These qualities were available to you all along in the very recognition of your true nature as infinite consciousness itself. From this place of realized abundance, money flows not as something you need for completion, but as a natural expression of your creativity and service. You engage with financial planning and wealth building not from lack, but from the joy of conscious participation in the dance of form and formlessness, of giving and receiving, of individual expression and universal unity. Rest in this truth. You are already the abundance you seek. Every breath you take is a gift from an infinitely generous universe. Every moment of awareness is a miracle beyond price. Every opportunity to love and serve is a treasure that no amount of money could purchase. When you truly know this, abundance becomes not something you have, but something you are. And from this being, all having naturally flows. The journey into conscious relationship with money is ultimately a journey home to yourself, to the recognition that you have never been separate from the source of all that you need. This homecoming transforms not only your bank account, but your entire experience of being human, revealing life itself as the ultimate abundance, consciousness itself as the greatest wealth, and love itself as the only currency that truly matters. Test these truths not through belief, but through practice. Allow your own experience to be your teacher, your own consciousness to be your guide. In the laboratory of your daily life, experiment with these principles and discover for yourself the profound freedom that comes from aligning with the fundamental nature of abundance itself. Just as ice is simply water in a different form, money is consciousness taking on the appearance of currency, stocks, real estate, or any other financial instrument. Once you recognize this truth, you realize that you are not separate from abundance. You are the very consciousness from which it arises. This understanding transforms your entire approach to financial well-being. Instead of asking, "How can I get more money?" you begin to ask, "How can I become a clearer expression of consciousness?" Instead of focusing on accumulation, you focus on circulation. Instead of operating from scarcity, you operate from the recognition that you are connected to an infinite source of creative potential. Let yourself rest in stillness for a moment and sense the vast field of awareness that you are. Notice that this awareness is not contained within your body, rather your body appears within this boundless presence. This awareness is your true nature, and it is here that all abundance originates. When you operate from this recognition, money becomes a natural expression of your creative power rather than something you must struggle to obtain. Yet despite this profound truth, most humans find themselves trapped in patterns of thinking that create the very scarcity they fear. The neurobiology of scarcity is a fascinating study in how consciousness creates reality through the intricate networks of the nervous system. When your mind perceives threat or lack, it triggers an ancient survival mechanism that floods your body with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These stress hormones, while useful for escaping immediate physical danger, create a state of tunnel vision that literally prevents you from perceiving opportunities and possibilities that exist all around you. When cortisol levels remain elevated due to chronic financial worry, the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for creative problem solving and strategic thinking, goes offline. You become reactive rather than responsive, driven by fear rather than guided by wisdom. This biochemical reality explains why so many people remain stuck in financial patterns that don't serve them. Their nervous system is literally wired to scan for threats and problems rather than possibilities and solutions. The sympathetic nervous system, designed for fight or flight responses, keeps them in a state of chronic activation that blocks access to the higher cognitive functions necessary for creating abundance. But here's where the miracle of neuroplasticity enters the picture. Your brain is not fixed. It is constantly rewiring itself based on your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. Every time you choose a thought of abundance over a thought of lack, you are literally reshaping the neural pathways that determine your perception of reality. Every time you breathe consciously rather than holding your breath in anxiety, you are training your nervous system to remain calm in the face of uncertainty. Take 6 slow, deep breaths now, making your exhale longer than your inhale. As you breathe, notice any areas of tension in your body, perhaps your jaw, your shoulders, or your stomach. These physical contractions often hold cellular memories of financial stress passed down through generations. With each breath, allow these areas to soften and release, creating space for new patterns to emerge. The field of epigenetics has shown us that your genes are not your destiny. The expression of your genetic potential is influenced by your environment, your thoughts, and your emotional states. When you shift from scarcity consciousness to abundance consciousness, you are literally changing the genetic instructions that your cells receive. You are transforming yourself at the most fundamental level, becoming a person who naturally attracts and generates prosperity. Consider how your nervous system responds when you think about money from a place of fear versus when you think about it from a place of excited possibility. Fear creates contraction. Your breathing becomes shallow, your muscles tense, your perception narrows. Excitement creates expansion, your breathing deepens, your body relaxes, your mind opens to creative solutions. These are not merely psychological differences, they are measurable physiological states that directly impact your capacity to recognize and act upon opportunities. The stress response that accompanies scarcity thinking also suppresses your immune system, disrupts your sleep, and interferes with digestion, all of which drain the vital energy you need to create and maintain abundance. Chronic financial worry literally makes you sick, which then requires more money for healthcare, creating a vicious cycle that keeps you trapped in the very patterns you're trying to escape. But when you learn to regulate your nervous system through conscious breathing, meditation, and other mindfulness practices, you begin to break free from these unconscious patterns. You start to operate from the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest response that promotes healing, creativity, and clear thinking. From this state, you naturally begin to perceive opportunities that were always present but previously invisible to your stressed and contracted awareness. Write down in your journal 3 financial worries that have been cycling through your mind recently. Now, beside each worry, write down one small action you could take today that would move you toward a solution, no matter how modest that action might be. Notice how this simple practice begins to shift you from passive worry into active engagement with your financial reality. The transformation from scarcity to abundance consciousness is not a mental exercise. It is a full body, full being shift that requires patience, practice, and profound self-compassion. You are literally rewiring decades of conditioning, healing generational patterns, and learning to trust in a benevolent universe that wants to support your highest expression. This is sacred work, and it deserves to be approached with the reverence and dedication you would bring to any spiritual practice. As you begin to recognize the profound connection between your internal state and your external experience, you encounter one of the most revolutionary discoveries of modern science, the observer effect in quantum mechanics. At the subatomic level, particles exist in what physicists call a superposition, a state of infinite potential, where all possibilities exist simultaneously until the moment of observation. It is the act of conscious observation that collapses this field of infinite potential into a specific, measurable reality. This principle extends far beyond the laboratory into every aspect of your lived experience, including your relationship with money and abundance. You are not a passive victim of economic circumstances. You are the conscious observer whose very presence and attention shape the financial reality you experience. When you observe your life through the lens of lack, you collapse the infinite field of possibility into experiences that confirm scarcity. When you observe through the lens of abundance, you collapse that same field into experiences that reflect prosperity and flow. This is not positive thinking or wishful fantasy. This is the fundamental mechanics of how consciousness creates reality. Your brain processes approximately 11 million bits of information per second, but your conscious mind can only attend to about 40 bits. This means that the vast majority of your reality is being filtered through unconscious patterns and beliefs. The revolutionary realization is that you can choose which 40 bits to focus on, and this choice literally determines the world you inhabit. Consider a person who has been programmed to notice everything that could go wrong financially. Their attention automatically gravitates toward news of economic downturns, stories of financial ruin, evidence of rising costs and diminishing opportunities. They are not being realistic, they are being selective, unconsciously choosing to observe the aspects of reality that confirm their deepest fears. Meanwhile, someone with abundance consciousness naturally notices opportunities, unities, synchronicities, and possibilities for growth and expansion. They inhabit the same universe, but they collapse the field of potential into entirely different experiences. Take a moment now to become aware of your breathing. Notice how your breath flows in and out without any effort from you. This is the same effortless intelligence that governs the movement of planets, the growth of flowers, and the circulation of abundance through the global economy. As you breathe, sense yourself as the conscious observer, the aware presence that is witnessing not only your breath but the entire field of experience arising around you. The quantum field responds to consciousness not through force or manipulation, but through resonance. Just as a tuning fork will cause another tuning fork of the same frequency to vibrate sympathetically, your consciousness naturally attracts experiences that match its vibrational quality. When your consciousness resonates with gratitude, appreciation, and trust in life's abundance, you begin to attract people, opportunities, and resources that reflect these same qualities. This process happens through what quantum physicists call non-locality, the mysterious phenomenon where particles that have been connected continue to influence each other instantaneously, regardless of the distance between them. In the realm of consciousness and abundance, non-locality manifests as synchronicity. You think of someone who could help with a business venture, and they call you unexpectedly. You need a specific resource, and it appears through an unlikely chain of events. You hold a clear intention for financial growth, and opportunities begin to emerge from directions you never anticipated. These are not coincidences. They are the natural result of consciousness operating according to quantum principles. When you align your inner state with abundance, you become entangled with the infinite organizing power of the universe itself. This organizing power operates through what appears to be miraculous timing, bringing together people, resources, and circumstances in ways that serve the highest good of all involved. But here's the crucial understanding. You cannot manipulate this process through willpower or desperate intention. The quantum field responds to your authentic state of being, not to your surface desires or fears. This is why someone who appears calm and confident about money often attracts it easily, while someone who desperately needs it often experiences continued struggle. The field reads the deeper vibrational signature of your consciousness, not the story your mind tells about what you want. Pause here and place your hand on your heart. Feel the steady rhythm that has been sustaining you since before your first breath. This heart intelligence is connected to a vast network of coherent energy that extends far beyond your physical body. When your heart is in a state of coherence, when you feel genuine appreciation, love, or gratitude, you naturally synchronize with the organizing principles that govern abundance throughout the cosmos. Research in the field of heart coherence has shown that when your heart rhythm becomes coherent, it sends signals to your brain that enhance cognitive function, emotional stability, and intuitive decision-making. In this state, you naturally make choices that align with your deepest values and highest potential. You become a magnet for opportunities that serve not only your own abundance, but the abundance of everyone you encounter. This brings us to one of the most profound secrets of the universe, the zero-point field, the quantum vacuum that underlies all of physical reality. Far from being empty space, this field teems with infinite potential energy, more energy in a cubic centimeter than all the matter in the known universe. This field is the source from which all particles, all forms, all experiences continuously emerge and return. When you learn to access this field through meditation, deep contemplation, or moments of profound stillness, you connect with the ultimate source of all abundance. Here, in the realm of pure potential, there is no scarcity because there are no things, only the infinite creative power from which all things arise. This is the field that mystics have called the void, the source, the unified field of consciousness itself. To touch this field, you don't need elaborate techniques or years of training. You need only to become still enough to recognize what has always been present. In the space between your thoughts, in the pause between your heartbeats, in the stillness that exists even in the midst of activity, here is where infinite possibilities dwell, waiting to be called into form through the power of conscious intention. Rest in complete stillness for a few moments. Let your breathing become so gentle that it almost seems to stop. In this profound quietude, sense the vast field of potential that surrounds and interpenetrates your being. This is not imagination. This is direct contact with the source of all abundance, the creative matrix from which your entire life continuously emerges. From this field of infinite potential, abundance doesn't have to be created. It already exists in seed form, waiting for the right conditions to manifest. Your role is not to force or struggle, but to become fertile ground for these seeds to sprout and flourish. This fertility comes from clarity of intention combined with complete emotional freedom around outcomes. And here we encounter one of the greatest paradoxes in the realm of manifestation. The more attached you are to specific outcomes, the more you interfere with the natural flow of abundance. Attachment creates resistance, and resistance disrupts the delicate process by which potential becomes reality. It's like grasping water. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. Intention without attachment is the key that unlocks the door to effortless manifestation. Intention provides direction and focus, like a lens that concentrates light into a powerful beam. But attachment introduces fear, control, and desperation, emotions that create turbulence in the field of consciousness and scatter your creative power in all directions. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to check on its progress. You water it, provide sunlight, and trust in the intelligence of nature to bring it to fruition in perfect timing. The same principle applies to the seeds of intention you plant in the field of consciousness. Once planted with clarity and genuine feeling, they need space and trust to grow into physical manifestation. This doesn't mean you become passive or stop taking action. Rather, you learn to act from inspiration rather than desperation, from trust rather than fear. You remain open to pathways and timing that may be different from what your mind had planned, knowing that the universe often has ways of fulfilling your deepest intentions that are far more elegant and abundant than anything you could have orchestrated through effort alone. Notice where in your body you feel tight or contracted when you think about your financial goals. These areas of tension often indicate where you're holding attachment, where you're trying to control outcomes rather than allowing them to unfold naturally. Breathe into these areas and consciously release the need to make things happen in a specific way or timeline. The practice of intention without attachment requires tremendous faith, not blind belief, but faith based on direct experience of how consciousness operates. Every time you've had an insight, every time you've experienced synchronicity, every time the perfect person or opportunity has appeared just when you needed it most, you've witnessed the organizing power of consciousness in action. These experiences are not random, they are glimpses of your true creative potential operating freely. As you cultivate this balance of clear intention and emotional freedom, you begin to live in what the ancient traditions call the state of desireless desire. You want what you want, but you're not dependent on getting it for your peace or self-worth. You pursue your goals with enthusiasm and commitment, but you remain open to even better possibilities that you hadn't considered. You engage fully with life while maintaining the recognition that your deepest fulfillment comes not from external acquisition, but from the joy of conscious participation in the cosmic dance of creation. Write in your journal, "What would I pursue if I knew I couldn't fail and if the timeline didn't matter?" Allow yourself to dream beyond the limitations of your current circumstances. Then write, "How can I take one small step toward this vision today from a place of joy rather than need?" This practice helps you identify authentic desires while releasing the desperation that blocks their fulfillment. Your body holds the wisdom of every experience you've ever had with money, abundance, and worthiness. In the cellular memory of your tissues, there are traces of every financial trauma, every moment of scarcity, every inherited belief about what you deserve. But there are also traces of every moment of abundance, every experience of flow, every recognition of your inherent value. The body is not simply a vessel for consciousness, it is consciousness made manifest, and it holds the keys to transforming your relationship with abundance at the deepest possible level. Most people carry tensions in specific areas of their body when they think about money. Perhaps your jaw clenches when you look at your bank statement, or your stomach knots when bills arrive, or your shoulders rise toward your ears when you consider your financial future. These physical responses are not separate from your financial reality. They are part of the very mechanism through which scarcity perpetuates itself in your life. When your body holds chronic tension around financial matters, it sends continuous signals to your brain that you are under threat. This creates a feedback loop where financial thoughts trigger physical contraction, which triggers stress hormones, which reinforce the very thoughts and emotions that created the contraction in the first place. Breaking this cycle requires working with the body's wisdom directly, teaching your nervous system that it is safe to relax even when considering financial matters. Place both hands on your lower abdomen and breathe deeply into this area. Many people hold their financial fears in their belly, the seat of personal power and creative manifestation. As you breathe, sense the natural expansion and contraction of your abdomen. This rhythmic movement mirrors the natural ebb and flow of abundance in life, periods of receiving followed by periods of giving, times of gathering followed by times of sharing. There is no permanent scarcity in nature, only cycles of expansion and contraction that serve the greater harmony of the whole. The breath is your most direct gateway to transforming cellular memories of unworthiness. When you breathe consciously and fully, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system and signal to every cell in your body that you are safe, worthy, and supported by life itself. Each conscious breath is a declaration of your inherent value, a statement that you deserve to take up space and receive the life force that sustains all creation. Begin to notice your breathing patterns when financial stress arises. Do you hold your breath? Do you breathe shallowly into your chest? Do you breathe rapidly and anxiously? These patterns were likely formed in childhood when your nervous system first learned to associate money with survival and security. By bringing conscious awareness to your breath in these moments, you begin to rewire these ancient patterns and create new neural pathways associated with financial peace. Your body also holds wisdom about your true values and authentic desires. When you think about different ways of earning, spending, or investing money, notice the subtle sensations in your body. Some possibilities will feel expansive and energizing, while others will feel contractive and draining. Your body is constantly giving you feedback about what aligns with your deepest truth and what moves you away from it. This somatic intelligence is particularly important when making financial decisions. Your mind can rationalize almost any choice, but your body tells you the truth about whether a particular path will serve your highest good. Learning to trust this bodily wisdom is essential for creating authentic abundance, prosperity that feels good not just financially but energetically and spiritually. Release any tension you're holding in your neck and shoulders as you read these words. Notice how this simple act of physical letting go immediately affects your mental state. The body and mind are not separate, they are different expressions of the same unified field of consciousness. When you heal one, you heal the other. When you transform your physical relationship to abundance, you simultaneously transform your mental and emotional relationship as well. Among all the forces that can transform your relationship with abundance, gratitude stands as perhaps the most powerful and immediate. Gratitude is not simply a mental attitude or emotional state, it is a fundamental organizing principle of consciousness that aligns you with the very frequency of abundance itself. When you truly feel grateful, you cannot simultaneously feel lacking, because gratitude is the recognition of fullness, of being blessed, of life's inherent richness. The electromagnetic field generated by your heart when you feel genuine appreciation extends several feet beyond your physical body. This field carries information that others can sense unconsciously, drawing them toward you when you radiate genuine gratitude and contentment. People want to do business with those who feel abundant and grateful because these qualities are inherently attractive and inspiring. But gratitude for financial abundance cannot be manufactured or forced. It must arise from a deeper recognition of the countless ways you are already supported by life. The air you breathe costs nothing, yet without it you would perish in minutes. The sun provides energy for all life on earth, asking nothing in return. Your heart beats approximately 100,000 times each day without any conscious effort from you. These are not small gifts, they are expressions of an infinitely generous universe that supports your existence in ways too numerous to count. Take a moment to feel genuine appreciation for something in your life right now. Perhaps your ability to read these words, or the technology that makes this communication possible, or the intelligence that allows you to contemplate these ideas. Notice how gratitude feels in your body. There's often a warmth in the chest, a softening around the eyes, a natural deepening of the breath. This is what coherence feels like, the state in which your heart, mind, and body are working in harmony. From this state of coherence, abundance flows naturally because you are no longer operating from the frequency of need or desperation. You are operating from the frequency of fullness, and fullness attracts more fullness. This is not a metaphysical theory, but a measurable phenomenon. When your heart rhythm becomes coherent through genuine appreciation, it synchronizes the rhythm of your brain waves, optimizes your nervous system and function, and enhances your capacity for clear thinking and wise decision making. The practice of financial gratitude begins with appreciating what you already have, no matter how modest it might seem. Every dollar in your wallet represents an exchange of value, a transaction where someone willingly gave you money in return for something you provided. This exchange is a form of love, a recognition of your worth and contribution. When you can feel genuine appreciation for the money you currently have, you create the emotional and energetic conditions for more money to flow into your life. But gratitude becomes truly transformative when it extends beyond your personal circumstances to encompass the vast web of abundance that surrounds you constantly, the infrastructure that brings water to your home, the farmers who grow your food, the countless people whose efforts make your daily life possible. Recognizing these gifts begins to shift your perception from scarcity to abundance, from isolation to interconnection. Write down 5 things you're genuinely grateful for that cost you nothing. Perhaps the morning light, the sound of rain, a friend's laughter, or the feeling of warm water on your skin. Notice how this simple practice immediately shifts your internal state,